Well, they got some of that egg this time, and as expected, it was rodent damage. The cable pull through worked exactly as expected, and we have a chew mark there, and another chew mark there. Yep, they bug up the cable. So ideally, we'd block rodents getting into the roof, but given I can't get what I want, I've got to be grateful for what I get. So hopefully they got some poison up on the roof. Well, the guys are back for a second day working on this bedroom air conditioner, and they reckon the old head is stuffed. So I think the current plan is to take the one from the back kitchen, which doesn't get used much, and see if that one is viable. That's the one that was moved down from the lounge room after it failed once and was repaired, failed again, repaired, failed again. But hopefully that was just a gas problem or a problem with the outside unit. So we'll see whether the inside unit's any good. Here we are down at the rice factory. Got a rice drying going on, and the guys supervising have got their shelter here, and it's also serving as another carport for Azra's truck, because he hasn't got it over here, as that's where the metalwork's going on for the scooter cages. And by the fact that the little genset is running, that tells us that we've got another mains power outage. The mains around here are pretty unreliable. So, yeah, we're making progress. I won't disturb him by trying to go past. But spider reports that there was dead goslings. So I'm inclined to think, yeah, well, I don't know. It might be related to poor nutrition, lack of water, or the fact that they got ducks in there too competing. So I think she's going to separate the ducks out. Oh, getting warm again. I looked at the forecast for the next 10 days, and minimum temperature is 24 most days, 25 one day, maximum temperature 32 every day. Back when I was preparing for the move up here, I knew that the gensets had 15 amp outlets on them, so I prepared cables with 15 amp 3-pin plugs to correspond. And when those little genset, well, one of them was in use as backup for the house off-grid system, that was plugged into the genset, and the other end was connected to the off-grid system. Now that we've not got that in use anymore, those leads have been sitting around pretty much unused, because there wasn't anything on the other end of them. And I thought, okay, why not turn that into an extension cable? So to do that, because the earth pin on the 15 amp plug is bigger than the standard 10 amp plug, that plug there won't plug into a standard outlet, 10 amp outlet. So I removed the plug off the end of the other cable. I thought, okay, well I need a socket on the far end if I'm going to make this extension cable. I thought I had a line socket lying around somewhere or other. Have not been able to locate one. So I thought, well, what else can I use? Now when Brian Dresser came up last month, he brought a whole lot of stuff for me. Among that was 10 of these. I had, I think, a couple left over still, but I said, no, I'm going to need more of those eventually. And I didn't ask him to bring line sockets because I figured won't have a use for those, and I've got one if ever needed. Okay, oops. But what he did bring was the standard indoor double outlets, 10 amp outlets, and some outdoor outlets. We actually used the switch block, outlet block from one of the outdoor outlets to replace a melted one at the back door, which left the base block unused. And I'm like, aha! So what I do is I use that base block and one of the standard outlets. So yesterday, that is what I did. So I swapped from the far end. I swapped over to a standard 3-pin plug, and here we have that base block with a standard outlet on it. The only downside of this is the outlet doesn't exactly fit the base block neatly, so I'm going to have to put some sealant along those top and bottom edges. Otherwise this thing's going to be colonised by ants, because they seem to colonise anything they fancy around here. But yeah, so that's me not wanting to waste anything. Don't waste the cable, don't waste the mounting block, and the 3-pin plug that I took off with the big earth plug, the 15 amp one. What I'll do is I will buy another Indonesian power outlet board and put that plug on the end, and that can stay with the genset, so that it doesn't end up being used somewhere else, because they won't plug it in anywhere else. Yeah, so that's what I did, and future plans for that one. So that was one. Now I'm debating what to do with this other one. I might just leave it for now, because we may have other uses for that cable. But if I wanted to turn that into a extension cable like that one, I'd have to use one of the outdoor power outlet boxes, of which I have 4 remaining, since Brian brought up 5 for me, and I don't think I want to do that at this point, not until there's a proven need. Work is progressing on the grills for the scooter cage. We've just had a bit of consultation on how we're going to do the door end. We did a bit of quick design work on the drawing to sort of flesh out what the frame above the doorway is going to look like. I've located 2 of those line sockets over here in the shed. They're on leads with the IEC type sockets that your normal power lead plugs into. These were actually for plugging into the back of UPSs, but I could recycle those now. Well, the bedroom AC is running, but Jabita tells me that during the night it actually turned itself off, and she used the remote to turn it back on again. So I don't know, we'll have to keep an eye on that. And that's where a bit of that orange cable I was playing with earlier, they needed some the other day, so I said, oh, I've got some cable. Those freezers we brought up from Melbourne came back from repair yesterday. This is a Beko from Turkey. Don't buy it. Don't buy Beko. This one had the service technician out for about 3 times over 10 years or less. It might have been even 5 years in Melbourne. And when it came here, it had been working in Melbourne when we packed it up, but it had an error code that kept flashing. Here it didn't work at all. So they fixed it up once on site, regassed it, worked for a day, and then it wasn't working again. So we said, okay, take it away. If you can fix it, okay. If you can't fix it, we'll have to scrap it. And run it for a week, and if it's still working after a week, bring it back. So yesterday I brought it back. And today What do I see? Warning, warning, warning. So let's see what temperature it has. I put a thermometer in it earlier. 4.5 degrees. Yep, not working. The first battery charger I bought many years ago was this little guy. It's a Kmart job, obviously. I think that may have stopped working. Can't be sure. So I've got that connected to that battery over the back there and attempting to charge that one. After that I bought this little guy because it had a higher charging rate, and it may not be working either because it says that battery is fully charged and it's not. So I think that battery charger may have given up. Now I actually had both of those packed in my stuff to ship to Bangkok in the storage unit, buried deep in there, and I ended up having battery problems with my car, so ended up buying a third battery charger, this guy, and it appears to be the only one that's healthy, so I'm attempting to charge up battery over here. These are little 12 volt 9 amp hour batteries out of well, these are out of the UPS that was recently junked. The other ones, that colour, like that one over there, they are actually cycled out of UPSs previously. As a rule I change the batteries in UPSs on a schedule, and some of them are still good after that, so I'll put those aside, and that's what those other grey ones were. But at the moment they've all got very low voltages because they haven't been charged for a long time. So I want to see if I got one good one. Yeah, there's the fourth one of those over there. I've got one good one. Well, I want one good one because the little UPS that's on the sliding door on the back airlock, the battery in that's obviously no good, because you turn off the mains power to it and after about 10 seconds it says, oh, that's it, I've had enough, and it shuts down. So that's not being a UPS, so I need to put a better battery in it. So I'll see if I can resurrect one of these and do a changeover. Well, Dad Egg's been industrious. I hadn't noticed, but there used to be a big pile of wood there, all the leftover formwork and bamboo scaffolding and what have you from building the shed and other things, and he's moved all that and cultivated it and planted a few things. Very good. I figured that out because I happened to look down here and thought, aha, there's a whole lot of stuff at the back of the rubbish burning area, which looks like it's been thoroughly burnt down too and cracked the wall. Somebody got it a bit hot. Yeah, so we have a pile of bamboo and a black cat. Let's see what the creek's like. It'll be pretty low, not flowing. Yep, not flowing at all. It's been a while since we've had rain. Don't see any in the future in the current 10-day forecast, but no doubt we'll get more soon. It is a rainy season, or sorry, wet season after all. But yeah, good pile of bamboo there for using for something if we have a need. I gather these are a form of sweet potato vine, so they're running across here. I wonder if that means they're going to try and dig down into the gravel here. That'll be fun for somebody to dig up. That thing, I guess. Our neighbour at the back of Lizu's patio here has been very industrious. Lots and lots of bamboo scaffolding going up. I don't know what the plants are. If you've watched all the appropriate previous videos, you'd be aware that in the back airlock we have this sliding door with a fingerprint sensor lock. If if I get my fingerprint. Okay, so when it goes green, magnets release, the door can slide open. Now that's powered by this thing here. If you turn that off, the magnets release, the door opens freely. So if somebody around here was smart enough, they should overcome this lock by simply turning off the switch on the main switch on the switchboard there. To circumvent that, that's why we have a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply. So the idea is if the power goes off, as shown by turning off the mains, this thing will keep it powered. But unfortunately, that's the one with the dud battery. So that's why I'm charging up batteries over in the shed at the moment. And yesterday I managed to make this neat by putting these brackets on the wall here for it to sit on. So that's up out of the way now. I would have liked to have had it sitting in there, but there's no way you can get a drill in there to drill the holes to mount the brackets on the wall. So there it is. And this ice maker appears to be working correctly now. You may recall I bought it in October 4th, I think, put the order in for it. So it actually failed after less than 2 months. Went out for repair by our original air conditioning guys. Came back, no good. So it then went out with the new air conditioning guys, come back, it's good. And the air conditioning in the bedroom is still working. So I think we've found the technicians who are the keepers now. The previous guys just didn't know the game apparently. In fact, to such an extent that they put the air conditioner Freon in this unit, expecting it to work, despite the fact that's different to what it says on the label on the back. The new guy, he read the label on the back, he knew what the correct Freon was to put in it. So yeah, I think we're doing better now. Failed refrigeration really is a theme here. This is a water cooler and water heater. There is actually one of those big tanks in the bottom here. So what they call a gallon here, with a pump to pump it up. So this button gets your normal temperature water, this button gets chilled water, this button gets hot water. So for the chiller, there's presumably some sort of refrigeration system. This is the second one of these we've had. This is the second one that the water chiller has failed on. Down the rice factory, they've got both the winnower and the polisher running. There's a rain of rice husks out here. I'm sure you'll see that pile is higher than last time I showed this. The guy making up the metal grills for the scooter cage is off work today. His child has got one of those school days where their parents go in. So that's where he is at the moment. As you can see, he's made a fair bit of headway. So two sloppy ones. Oh yeah, yep, okay, I see. So the back one there against the wall is the big gate, which is currently upside down because actually no, it's not. It's this is just going to be the inside this side. So the hinge is to the left. The next one in front of that is the one for the east end of the enclosure, and the one closest is going to be the one for over the gate. As evidenced by the little notch on the corner. I don't think I'd noticed bananas planted around this pond previously. nursery down there is coming along. I figured out why my seeing is not so good. My left eye is blurry with the cataract. So, not sure yet what we're going to do about that. May have to be surgery. That'll be fun here in Indonesia. I didn't even go over to the shed yesterday. It's just a bit too damn warm. Yeah, but anyway, it's Friday, so I got to wrap this up and do an upload. Oh, there's still a few jambu left on that tree. Yeah, anyway, I'll take this on the end of what I got so far and do an upload.